Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about the historic 2025 box set Dungeons & Dragons Stranger Things Welcome to the Hellfire Club, and what it does in Dungeons & Dragons that has never ever been done before. So we get these box sets and they all have different functions. Essential Kit was, hey, we're going to do the best we can to give you everything maximally, the best cards, the best maps, the best dice, the best components at the most reasonable price, right? Like the most in the box for the least amount of money. And Essentials Kit was a really important box set, and it was a very, very important box set and really served its function. Hero of the Borderlands, right? That's coming out. Exact opposite. We're going to give you the very best we can, and everything's going to be top notch. Absolutely no compromise for value. Just premium, absolute premium components for everything, right? And then Rick and Morty, right? Like that was, hey, this is an intellectual property that everybody in the office is super into, and we're going to connect Dungeons and Dragons to Rick and Morty, right? That was one of the strangest box sets I've ever seen. And the only reason why is I just feel like that IP jumped the line so hard. Like there were so many intellectual properties I would have loved to seen Dungeons and Dragons connect to, and that was not at the top. That wasn't even remotely near the top of the list. But now we get Dungeons and Dragons Stranger Things Welcome to the Hellfire Club. And what this does is, like, we have never seen anything like this. Okay, so let's talk about there's actually 4 layers of coverage in this, okay? The first is a meta layer, which I do not think will be mentioned in the product. But let's talk about Caleb McLaughlin. First of all, my apologies. I realized, I was like, dude, why do you know Gaten Matarazzo's name, but you don't know Caleb McLaughlin's name, right? And the reality is, I should have known it. So I apologize for not knowing Caleb McLaughlin. Caleb McLaughlin is the actor who plays Lucas Sinclair, okay? Now, and he brought Lucas Sinclair to life, and that's what we're getting in Welcome to the Hellfire Club, right? We're getting Lucas Sinclair, 1980s teenager, Dungeons and Dragons player, and high school basketball player. Both those are important. We are also going to get Sundar the Bold. That is his human ranger character that he played in the Hellfire Club, okay? And then also we are also getting Eddie Munson, who is the dungeon master of the Hellfire Club. Okay, so one, I did want to mention Caleb McLaughlin there, just because I wanted to get it out that, he's important too. He did a great job with Lucas Sinclair. All right, but let's talk about what is happening in Welcome to the Hellfire Club that has never happened in any box set ever that will change Dungeons and Dragons forever. We're getting 2 layers up. Okay, Dungeons and Dragons since February 7th, Thursday, February 7th, 1974. Day 1 of Dungeons and Dragons. You're the player. Here's your player character. That's been the level, right? This is not just expanding it a level above that, right? But we're getting a situation where now players will be playing player characters, and players will be players playing the Dungeon Master Eddie Munson, and they will be playing those players in context to the play structure, which is the Hellfire Club, in their IRL real settings. That has never happened before. We have never gotten layers on layers on layers, right? And so D&D before was like, you're a player, here's your player character. Now it's saying Dungeons and Dragons is basically, it's saying you are a player playing a player character, and you're going to play all of it. You're going to play walking up to the table and sitting down, right? And like, you're going to role play, not just you're going to role playing, okay? When you make a roll, oh my gosh, holy cows, wow. The ramifications of this are absolutely massive, right? Because you're going to make rolls as a player, but then how are they going to work the roles of the player in the game rolling for the player character? I cannot wait to see this product. I am so excited about this product. And so, so we're going to get all of this, right? And the ramifications of it are absolutely massive, right? Because not only are we going to get, we're getting rules for players playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we're getting rules for playing the play structure, right? It's not just a D&D game. It is the Hellfire Club. It is an organization that was created to play Dungeons and Dragons in a very specific time, the time of persecution, when Dungeons and Dragons could literally cost you your life, right? Last time that happened was like 2023. That was the last time people were in the street shouting, D&D be gone, we want to burn books, right? Like, happened in 1983, happened in 2023. Both times people came to destroy Dungeons and Dragons forever, to wipe it off the map so it did not exist. Wild. In 50 years, we've had 2 attempts to remove Dungeons and Dragons from the face of the earth. Twice, and both involved book burning. It's absolutely incredible. But this is going to be huge. Just this layers on layers on layers, right? And honestly, I think it would have been enough to just see players playing players characters, but also to open up the idea of a player playing a dungeon master is incredible. And in addition to that, the idea of players finding their space within a play group, and the idea of Dungeons and Dragons mechanically talking about play groups and how they protect players from distractions, how they protect players quite literally, right? And just the ramifications of this are absolutely massive. I'm so excited about this product. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.